أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله Assalamu alaikum. I'm Martha Nailah Wms Abdullah and welcome to Cultural Insights, a collaboration between American Muslim 360 and A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio. Our dear brother William Kareem will be connecting with us in just a moment, where we will combine the presentation of Kivel Equon with quick hitters. Have you ever joined us right here on Zoom before? If not, it truly is a treat. Cultural insights. And have you ever entertained the idea of what is culture? Is culture just the makeup of music or harmonious sounds or what we eat, how we dress? Okay, and we have now our dear brother William Kareem, I believe. Let me ask him to unmute. I believe he's William. Will you unmute your mic if this is your Motorola Moto Power, Moto G Power? Then we have a Moto G Power 2021. Okay, it just went away. All right. In the meantime, let's connect with what is culture. And perhaps it is what you've been thinking, right? We're saying cultural insights. Around the globe, we know that uh, depending on the location where we are, what we do, how we do it, when we do it, and for whom or for what becomes our culture. Many times we find that faith is attached to our culture, and our belief system becomes the combination of faith and culture. So much so that identifying faith from a region or an area different from our own, we identify it as the faith or the belief system that is to be incorporated in everyone's culture. Though it is the culture that is defining the belief system many times. So when we separate the belief system and apply the belief system to a higher form of how we have, or above how we have adapted and adopted ways and means of living, the culture is refined by the belief system and not the other way around. So let's go to culture, defining it, and let's see if we have a dear brother. We have praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. One moment, I'm going to share my screen, and then we will connect with William Kareem. All right, and quick hitters, Kivel Equon. Kivel Equon. Now I'm reading from, and let me, as I said, sharing my screen here. I'm reading from Culture as AI has defined it. It is a it is the shared system of beliefs. Now, I was just discussing, sharing with you how we've now come to know that many times we see we when we think of culture and of the faith component of the people living in a certain arena, area, region, we find that we applied the cultural aspect to the faith component, and then we have a belief system that is incorporated as the culture, and the culture supersedes the belief system. We're saying that the belief system should be that which refines our culture, our way of
Assalamu
living.
alaikum.
Alaikum assalam, alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Okay, so so let me see if I can now bring it in. Bring in. Hold on.
All right. We're striving to perfect our technology connection where we have more listeners. And as we go on, I believe we will uh, achieve that.
Val.
We are we are hearing it.
Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. Okay, all right. Allahu Akbar. Okay,
And,
so we're connected, and we're connected with American Muslim 360. Um, Sister Martha's on with us. Assalamu alaikum, bismillah, and ahim, assalamu alaikum. And I'd like to introduce to the American Muslim 360 audience and the new culture, a New Day for Al Islam community radio audience, Mr. Kivel for cultural insights. Take it away, Vel.
Oh man, listen, I was having a little difficulty getting in today, but as always, welcome to the Quick Hitter Digital Experience. We're here every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We encourage you to join the experience live by calling 971-379-9162 or go to freeconferencecall.com and enter the ID A New Day 9, A New Day 9, all one word. We have a great show for you today that includes, of course, Real Quick Sports, where we talk basketball. Let's talk real quick, our weekly celebration of hip-hop culture and also the conversation, the experience and the movement, where we discover solutions through dialogue. I'm your host, Mr. Kivel, and I'm joined by my pops and sister Martha, as always, of Blessings to a New Day Community Radio and American Muslim 360. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
alaikum
Sister Martha?
assalam.
Beautiful, beautiful. Am I coming in well? Because I know sometimes it's a little challenging when it comes to my audio.
Okay,
Sounds
so
good on this
let me
end.
see. You're clear on this end, on your end? Let me see something.
Yes,
Let
sir.
me see
Very
something.
clear.
Okay, so I have to just leave it like this. I just have to leave it like this. Because Sister Martha can hear us. Yeah, she can hear us, even though I do have. Oh, that's. Okay, what I did was I merged.
Uh-oh, now we're getting reverberation.
Yeah, that's because
we got an echo.
Thank you for your patience, everyone, as we will reconnect in just a moment. Otherwise, I will dial in. The picture, for those who are seeing the video, my background here, that is the Historic Coliseum of St. Petersburg, Florida. And that is where the Tampa Bay Area Muslim Association, Interfaith Tampa Bay, the Iftar Committee has been established, and the hosted by the Tampa Bay Area Muslim Association. We host annually citywide iftar, with the city being having, excuse me, a shared position with promoting and conducting the iftar. It is able to hold close to 1,000 people, and as it has been, we've gotten up to, per the fire marshal, 980 persons. Yes, 980 persons every year. Now, for the time of the COVID, the time of the COVID in 2020 and 2021, we did not host the at the historic Coliseum. What we did do in lieu of that was we had food drives, and where we shared food with the community. Okay, we have dear brother William back, I guess.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
Okay. All right. So I'm on one phone, in I'm at AM360, and so I'm over here.
Of doing a number of things. But excuse me, but Kevin Durant.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I can hear Kivel.
He really was pushed out.
Okay, very good.
With the certain skill sets that he had. And over the years, he has only continued to get better. He always scored a lot of points from the first moment he entered the NBA, when he came in as a one-year player at Texas University. He came in, and when I tell you he has been consistent over this entire course of his career, which I believe at this point is 19 years, 18 or 19 years, to reach this plateau is something that people would have expected him to do without a doubt. And it is incredible to see what he's been able to accomplish. So with that being said, we want to make sure.
Yeah, Kevin Durant.
Sure,
Kevin Durant is.
We celebrate that moment.
Yeah, Kevin Durant is really a very powerful. I think he's a powerful example of representing basketball in the and I don't want to say conservative way, but he's just been very consistent as far as his characteristics and his character. He's been very consistent. He's not a guy that you see in controversial. I don't see him as being a controversial guy. And one thing that stood out with him is, as far as like him having children. How old is he? Is he still able? I mean,
Kevin Durant is 37 years old.
Whoa, 37.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yeah, and he's in that stage where Steph Curry, as well as LeBron James, they have been the faces of the NBA for such a long time, and that's because of their consistency and their ability to do what is necessary, and that is win basketball games. Kevin Durant has 2 NBA championships, which he won with the Golden State Warriors. He also has an NBA MVP. He's been scoring champion in the NBA multiple times over his career. He's an excellent defender in terms of on the defensive side of basketball. He's not a liability where, some players are just scorers and they don't give the same effort on the defensive side. Kevin Durant, he's one who is, a one-of-one, and they've continued the NBA, and I'm sure coaches all around the country, from the AAU circuit to the NBA International, have looked to find someone who is similar to this guy, but it is very difficult to find someone of this caliber. And this is why Kevin Durant reaching this milestone is such a important thing to celebrate. This man loves basketball and has shown us over the years through his excellence.
Yeah, and he has said it too, that's what he knows. Sister Martha, you know Kevin Durant?
Do I ever remember? If you recall, I mentioned about his hair line, and that how I love to see his composure. His composure does not say anything about total frustration. He knows how to calm himself and keep himself aware of what he's doing at the time he's doing it. I was not aware that he had passed Wilt Chamberlain's scoring, and that and that he's combative with, I say combative, competitive with the rebounding. I wasn't aware of that.
Yes, yes. He's a player who once again plays in all parts of the game, and it's because he loves the game. He wants to continue and has continued to evolve as an individual player, but his desire to work on the details, the smaller things. Again, to be at something for 18 or 19 years at this high level and still find the desire, the want, the wherewithal to come in and work hard, just like someone who's stepping into this arena for the first time, is a thing that needs to be applauded. In terms of Kevin Durant and others who do the same thing. But at this level, what Kevin Durant has been able to do and keep himself motivated to come back consistently every year and improve is to be applauded. And so once again, congratulations to Kevin Durant for that great milestone of passing Wilt Chamberlain with 31,435 career points. We move on to the second part of our rundown, and that's the Thunder. They rally late to beat the Grizzlies. In a dramatic finish, Jalen Williams scored a season-high 26 points. The Oklahoma City Thunder closed with a decisive 14-0 run to edge the Memphis Grizzlies by 1 point, 117 to 116, overcoming a 21-point deficit.
Dramatic.
An incredible game.
Dramatic.
Oh, did you see it, Parker?
Yes, sir, I see it, man. There's hey, listen, man, there's so much drama in basketball these days, man. There's so much drama, man. And, I mean, basketball players, man, are giving their fans their money's worth. Whatever it is that they're paying for tickets, man, you know, they are giving the fans their money's worth, because this was a game all the way down. And it really doesn't matter who wins or who loses, because I think that people really come that they want to see that type of competition, and that's what they saw with this Thunder beating the Grizzlies, man. I mean, it was just great.
Mr. Martin, do you know about the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I've watched the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number one, I was surprised that Oklahoma even had a team. Believe it or not.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Because that's Nebraska. Is that Nebraska? What's Oklahoma City? Where's it at? What state?
In Oklahoma.
Oh, the state of Oklahoma. Okay, Oklahoma City. Okay.
See, you don't even imagine Oklahoma.
My bad.
You know, you got the Kansas City, you got California.
It's interesting, connected to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, when he was drafted into the NBA, was drafted to the Seattle Supersonics.
Yes.
The Seattle Supersonics, and were moved, I believe it was his second year, I could be wrong, but they moved the team to Oklahoma, and they became the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, question, Kivel, if I may interrupt. One quick question.
When his jersey was inevitably retired, though he has played for a few other teams in the NBA, he will probably be, his jersey will be retired in multiple cities, I'm sure, because he's great at every city. But he will always be tied to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I think when he decides to retire and goes into the Hall of Fame, he probably will go in as an Oklahoma City Thunder representative. So that team representing what they've been able to do in terms of the championship they won last year, only, again, shows their wherewithal because it was a 21-point deficit. These guys were losing, and they've been having a hard time. As a matter of fact, they didn't have three of their starters. I believe Shane Gilgeous-Alexander didn't play, Chet Holmgren didn't play, and there was another, Isaiah Hartenstein also did not play. So they were down three of their starters, and they put in the guys, man, who are on the bench. And these guys showed up. And to come back from a 21-point deficit to pull out this win, because they had been on a losing streak, and their confidence seemed to have been waning. Wow, I know you have to agree with that.
Well, Sister Martha had something that she wanted to add to it, so go ahead, Sister Martha.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question of the Cassell. I don't know why his name jumps into my mind. I just want to quickly ask that. Cassell, wasn't he with the Supersonics? Or no? But he stands out in my mind as a ball handler. But back to the Oklahoma City Thunder. What is more amazing is Memphis, Tennessee, they came to aggravate a lot of teams, the Grizzlies. So to see them be outnumbered, I mean, to be rallied down, to walk down, I should say, and to be overtaken, that was a surprise, I'm sure.
Well, that is true. The Grizzlies are in a transition right now as well because their star, John Morant, has now been put on the trading block. He's out there as a trade piece this year, and so there is a possibility he will be traded away from Memphis. And so there are a lot of nuances going on in Memphis that a game like this could, really tip the scales, being up 21 points and then losing the game in the end, even though it was just by 1 point on a valiant effort by them. The ramifications may be bigger than just a loss of a game to the Thunder. So we'll have to consistently pay attention to that and see what happens. Let's move on to number 3, where we got the Bucks hold off the Lakers in a tight battle. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Los Angeles Lakers 105-101, with Giannis Antetokounmpo contributing a well-rounded stat line to counter combined scoring from Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Did you get a chance to check this out?
I did. I did check out this game. And I found it was a tight, it was really a tight battle, and they played in. I think they played in Los Angeles, right?
Correct.
Oh man, this was really something, for the Lakers to lose this one. But I mean, when you going up against Giannis, man, when you're going up against him, man, and because the way that it looked to me. The way it looked is like the locomotive LeBron James was coming down on one end, and then you had Giannis coming down on the other. Just thugging, locomotives on both ends, man. That's what I saw.
And on this end,
there's a thing going on right now where people are talking about the way in which LeBron James and Luka Doncic are playing together. They're promoting Luka a lot to the fan base, but LeBron is continuing to do well. And that, what do you think about, that move away from kind of like LeBron being the face of the NBA and the face of the Lakers, but now they're trying to move towards Luka Doncic?
Well, understanding Luka and all of his needing to grow phases and develop. And not try to be a LeBron or not try to be an image of someone else, but to stand in his own lane. But at the same time, I don't want to lose LeBron's essence for the Lakers. It took a while for for LeBron to become the Lakers image from our dear brother who transitioned. K.
Right.
What's the name? Why is it leaving me? From Kobe. From Kobe,
Kobe.
yeah.
Yes. Kobe.
To see that LA, that Lakers image and the jersey and all of that, Even when
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal left the team,
Yeah.
they had to go through that phase of almost like a death occurred, and then to build it around Kobe, and then to have
Yeah.
LeBron come from the Heat and from Cleveland and make it over to the LA and really take on everything, and everyone began to work with his ability to not only play but to talk with the coaches and lead from inspiring the coaches to understand that they didn't know every phase of it as he had come to know.
Exactly. It really is amazing when you talk about done well together. LeBron and Luka would have seemed to be on paper an excellent combination because you take the ball out of LeBron's hands, you put it in Luka's hands, and now LeBron can do other things. He can play defense. He can conserve his energy. He doesn't have to worry about making sure other people are going to be in the right position. He can go and rebound, play more defense. And so it seemed like an excellent pairing. But it hasn't fared as well. And so for that, what you've seen, it seems like the Bucks and others come in and walk out with wins, even though it seems like, again, on paper, they shouldn't be able to get away with that so easily. It still was a good game, the score being 105-101, but the expectations for the Lakers are different from the expectations for the Milwaukee Bucks.
I mean, if I may say this, I apologize.
We talk about the Knicks in a close contest. Oh man, listen, these Knicks are getting on my nerves. The Phoenix Suns beat the New York Knicks 112-107,
I mean,
and by 31, and also scoring down the stretch, snapping a tough skid for the Phoenix Suns. They were losing, but let me tell you, the Knicks have lost 5 out of 6 of the last games that they played. And
but it's a struggle, though. It ain't like they wasn't trying. It's not like they wasn't trying.
No, it's not that they weren't trying, Pop. But go ahead. You know what I'm saying? I know you saw the game.
Yeah, well, let Sister Martha come in because she has something she wants to say. Go ahead, Sister Martha.
Yeah, I'll hold it because it was more in reference to more on the but I'll stop right there, and because I know how you all feel heartfelt about the Knicks, and I know the new players that are playing with the Knicks. But I wanted to emphasize the free throws. When you foul someone at the end of the game, and that person is not one who's good at the free throw line, and then they wind up being good. That was my emphasis for the Lakers uh losing to that person who wasn't a good free throw player in the beginning. But on to the Knicks and how well we know they've had to rebuild, and and another embarrassing team that comes up young and vibrant, uh as the Bucks are. You don't look forward to them beating the old and historical. I say old and historical, though the players aren't old and historical, but they're still the Knicks. So I'll stop right there.
Right.
Well, Devin Booker has been consistent as far as what he does, man. Like he's definitely one to carry the team. What I wanted to do to ask though, Kivel, because this is something that I also saw with Durant, that in the tightest spots, Kivel, and Martha, that dagger that Kevin Durant put on, because he won. Let me see, because who was he playing? And he played that team. I think he was he playing the Rockets when he got the last shot? It was like 3-4 seconds left in the game, and he got that last shot, man, and put it in. It's just they don't get excited.
That was actually against the Suns.
That was against the Suns, right? And there's no, he hit it, and it wasn't like yay, yay, yay. It was just he just turned around and walked away.
He turned around and looked at the crowd and told them, "Get him out of here."
Don't forget injuries, y'all. Don't forget the injuries. I do have to say the Knicks have injuries, so we'll give them a little more leeway.
And I'm saying the clean version.
Because he's saying the clean version. Yeah, but I mean, but there's a lot of the clean version, man. And that's what I saw with Devin Booker too, man. You know, like Devin Booker is the same kind of guy, man. You know, I'm in a lot. Jalen Williams, Jalen Brunson, all these guys, man. I mean, they hit clutch, and when they hit clutch, I mean, they just, you know, it's like. It's just another day at the office, man, type of thing, man, you know, with them, man. And everybody else is excited. The crowd is like, ah! And they just turn around and it's like, yo, it's just another day at the office.
Well, listen, man, I am so thankful for the season that we are seeing this year. I'm echoing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm really thankful for the season that we're seeing. This is one of, for me, as a person who's watched basketball from the time my grandmother had me sitting in front of the TV watching Channel 9 and recorded games before they had actual live broadcasts. And we were watching Knicks games, you know, playing against the Lakers, you know, that had been recorded the night before. And now they're showing them on Channel 9 at, you know, like 12 o'clock in the afternoon today, where I can go on these streaming networks and see the games live, you know, in multiple places all at the same time. It is one of the best seasons by far.
Beautiful.
That I have ever seen concerning. And these players, again, like you said, Kevin Durant's game winner the other night was cold-blooded, man. The comeback from the Oklahoma City to be able to win by one, unbelievable. The shot that Devin Booker hit over two people in the Garden to win the game was unbelievable. I mean, what else can you ask for, man, when you turn on the TV to watch a basketball game and you're a basketball fan? It is amazing. With that being said, my great people, let's move on to number 5. Celtics stay strong with a big win over the Bulls. Boston continued its strong stretch with a 115-101 win over Chicago, powered by 27 second half points from Anthony Simons and a balanced team effort. The Celtics are coming, and this is where the Knicks have to be really, really careful about how they're going to position themselves and what they're going to do to take themselves out of this losing streak, because the Celtics were supposed to be in a tough situation since they lost Jason Tatum, but it doesn't look like they're in that situation. The leadership of Jaylen Brown.
What's the Jason Tatum update?
Well, Jason Tatum is healthy in the way that he can play. He's out there on the court running, participating in physical basketball activities. So he is, you know, healthy, and I don't know how strong he is, where he's at, 80%, 90%, whatever that may be. But I'm sure the Celtics are being cautious because they do not want to wind up losing him for any more extended period of time. Maybe he can come back in time for the playoffs. He has mentioned that. He's talked somewhat about that. If I were the Celtics and what I'm seeing from Jaylen Brown and the team that they're putting out there on the floor, I would hold off on bringing Jason Tatum back this year, let him sit out and heal, so that next year he comes back as an addition to what they already have, which is doing a wonderful job. The team's doing a wonderful job, and be able to pursue multiple championships in the future and not jeopardize his health at all.
Would you see? You think that's the same situation? I was more of the impression that they're holding on to until playoff situation, so that he could come back and make a bigger impact. Like he would be like a secret weapon, an additional weapon to the team. I thought that also was the same thing with the Dallas Mavericks, that they're holding off on Kyrie Irving so that he would be an additional weapon down the stretch for them to make their run and be able to put, like I say, it's business, and it has to be strategic
strategic the way that they do these things, and that was another way that I was kind of looking at it. What do you think about that, Sister Martha?
Well, all I can
Okay.
say, Boston has always been a team I love to hate. And,
Okay.
from Larry Bird days and the
I
Lakers,
see.
I'm going way back. But to see
Well,
that
me,
they're one of their players that has the same approach of Robert Parrish. I remember Robert Parrish. So I'm dating myself too. But to be on that backboard, rebounding and offensively and defensively, playing both ends. I'm kind of leaning towards loving Celtics again. I mean, not again, but anew. But I still love to hate them when they play certain teams, especially Toronto and the Pacers. And I'll stop right there.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, when last year when they played against the Knicks, and they canceled the Knicks out. I mean, I just went against the Knicks just for GP, because me and Misunderstood was hanging out, and she's a fanatic as far as Knicks is concerned, to the degree where she wears the orange and blue colors.
Oh Lord.
She wears the orange blue colors, man.
Sister Amina from California and Sister Zoom.
Thank you, Sister Amina. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to this program. And we're talking basketball. This is what we do in the first hour. And so, so I'm going to leave it right there, Zell, because I know that you have some other things that you wanted to get into.
Well, I definitely want to comment on the fact that Mr. Martha is right. I have always been completely against the Celtics, going all the way back to the early 1980s with the battles that have gone on with them and the Lakers. Always loved Magic Johnson. And just to make a social commentary on that, the NBA was clearly using a racial divide to promote and push their product by
Yes.
putting Larry Bird in Boston, which had a certain reputation when it came to racial issues, and putting Magic Johnson in Los Angeles, which also had a certain reputation when it came to racial issues. And people chose sides. And that there created a rivalry and a dislike that had existed for such a long period of time.
In American culture. In American culture.
In America,
yeah.
In
That's
American
right.
culture, NBA utilized an issue that American culture was dealing with and was sensitive to, and added it into what is just basketball, right? Which was smart, because maybe not something that people would have wanted to happen or to use, but it was smart for the business, because at the end of the day, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird created some of the greatest moments in NBA history through that rivalry. And these two men became giants in the basketball universe, and inevitably they became friends to some degree,
yes,
and respected each other highly. And in that, we were able to say, hey, you can always love one team or the other because you love a player, right? So you love a player. And I think today, when you look at the Boston Celtics, and even though I don't root for the Boston Celtics because they're in the East with my team, the New York Knicks, I do, however, enjoy watching them play against other teams, right, that they're able to show the excellence of basketball ability. They are excellent. You watch them, they are excellent at what they're supposed to do, and that is play basketball. And so on that note, we'll close out our
May I inject one thing, William? I want to inject one thing that healed us. the one thing that healed us
Go ahead.
was the presentation of the style of the coach and the player, Michael Jordan and the coach, the outstanding coach. That image merged where they worked together, and it tended to heal our thoughts about players, about the race relation. Jackson and Jordan brought a sense of unity between the urgency that we felt between the Celtics and the Lakers. They kind of merged, and it's because they rose to the top at the same time. The Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, well, was the coach for on Magic Johnson's time? In Magic Johnson's time, was the coach at that time? Was it Pat Riley at that time?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so who was the coach? Who was the coach for the Boston Celtics?
I believe it was K.C. Jones.
Oh,
at
K.C.
that time.
Jones.
He was I believe K.C. Jones was the coach. K.C. Jones was a Celtics player who inevitably, I believe at the time, became the coach of the Celtics during that period where they were in intense rivalry with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, it says for the Bucks was Bill Finch. Well, and Bill Finch, who coached from '79 to '83 and won the '81 champion, and K.C. Jones, who took over from '83 and led the team to titles in '84 and '86. Yeah, Jimmy Rogers coaching briefly during the Bird's time. Yeah, K.C. Jones. K.C. Jones. That's the one we remember.
Yeah. Bill Finch is also a legendary coach in the NBA. He continued to coach different teams during that period of time as well. But K.C. Jones is the one who, when we think about the titles and rivalry and some of those really magical moments when they played against one another, he was the coach of that team. So it's amazing stuff, man. Again, the NBA is thriving right now, and it's not just Boston or LA, which needed to be at that time, the different coasts and having the ability to kind of have the coasts compete against each other. Now all the teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who actually are in the state of Oklahoma, Pop. I just want to remind you. Are all thriving at this point because basketball has grown to such an amazing state. Yeah. We're going to move on because we're getting ready. We're at 11:47. What a great conversation that we're having. Again, you're here on the Quick Hitters Digital Experience on Sundays on the New Day Community Radio, along with American Muslim 360, and I am your host, Mr. Kivel, joined by Pop. And, of course, it's Martha and our great listeners. We're going to move on to Poster or Not. Poster or Not, what we discuss here is there was a dunk. The dunk is when a player goes to the basket and puts the ball into the hoop against another player, and it's incredible when it is done in a way with force, athleticism, and, of course, I always believe some type of body contact. In Poster Now this week, it is Brandon Miller of the Charlotte Hornets dunking on Kyle Kuzma of the Milwaukee Bucks. And when I tell you this was a great dunk, again, one-on-one, Kyle Kuzma down at one end of the court. He's waiting for Brandon Miller to come down. As Brandon Miller takes off into the air, Kyle Kuzma jumps with him, running to meet him at the rim to get a block of the ball, and Brandon Miller slams that basketball into the hoop, and I don't know if he got the foul, but it was such an athletic and a powerful dunk that it just has to be highlighted this week. Out of all the dunks that have happened during the course of the week, it was spectacular.
Well, let's say something about Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller is an American professional basketball player, Charlotte Hornets. He played college basketball in Alabama. He was a consistent five-star recruit in high school. He's 23 years old, so he's a young boy in the NBA. He plays small forward, and he's 200 pounds, 6'7". Well, so how tall is Kuzma? Is Kuzma taller than him or what?
Kuzma's probably 6'7", 6'8" as well. And Kyle Kuzma is also known for the fact that he was on the Los Angeles Lakers. He played with LeBron and Anthony Davis when they were in the bubble, when it was COVID, and he won a NBA championship. And in that, he is remembered truly as a key piece of their team. But they moved on from him and traded him to the Washington Wizards, where he had a really good year or two, showcasing what he could actually do as someone who was more of a primary player on a team and in a team's offense. He was then traded over to the Bucks because Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks were kind of going through a situation where they didn't know if Giannis would be signed with the team, and so they wanted to bring in players that could support Giannis in terms of winning games and taking some of the load off of him. And Kuzma, they thought, would be an excellent addition. He has been in terms of his ability to be, again, a role player, not like he was in Washington. What they expected him to do was come in and kind of bring the Washington Kyle Kuzma into the Bucks locker room. And he's tried as much as possible. But again, these moments like this are memorable moments because we know Kyle Kuzma. It's not one of some guy who's just coming off the bench or some new guy. This is Kyle Kuzma, a guy who we have some kind of, history with and knowledge about. And so Brandon Miller, the young guy, right, is down in Charlotte with the Charlotte Hornets. And he is part of the new wave of young players down there. And to see him be able to add on to a game and to have the confidence that some of the young players now in Charlotte are really starting to feel shows a lot about where Charlotte Hornets may be within the next couple of years if they keep this young core together.
Well, the other piece is that for a young player, 23, to go up against Kuzma. I mean, just coming down the court and Kuzma, situating himself. This guy's 6'7", Brandon Miller 6'7", Kuzma 6'8". Brandon is like 200 pounds and Kuzma is 221. He's 221. So, for him to come down the court, it's like the young boy was saying, "I'm coming for you, old man." And for the old man to say, "No, I'm going to stop you, young boy. I'm going to stop you, young boy, from getting to the basket. I'm going to stop you." But, I mean, this whole thing, that kind of situation, do you think players actually think about this situation that you're talking about, Val, talking about poster or not? Do you think that they think about that when it happens?
Yes.
Really?
Of course.
You think that? Of course. You mean Kyle Kuzma wasn't afraid to be on that poster? You mean like that?
It's competition. And Sister Martha, I mean, you spoke about it earlier. These people are competitive. This isn't, I'm going to let you do something. Kyle Kuzma is not going to just let him score. Kyle Kuzma's job that he gets paid millions of dollars for is to stop Brandon Miller from scoring. And so he's going to give his best effort, just like Brandon Miller, who gets paid to attempt to score, is also going to give his best in regards to making sure he can score. And in a moment like this, one-on-one, when it's just you and that other player, and everybody's eyes are on you in the stadium, on both benches, on the television viewers, everyone's watching, and this is a moment. And that moment was captured right there in that poster that Brandon Miller was able to execute on Kyle Kuzma. I tell you, man, incredible. And I will be posting the actual footage of this on my social media platforms, on Instagram, Instagram.com, Mr. MISTERKIVEL, Mr. Kivel on Instagram, and on YouTube at youtube.com Mr. Kivel, Misterkivel. And of course, you can go and check it out on your own on YouTube or Google. But really, an incredibly done. Again, we try in post on how to always highlight something that is going to be spectacular for the viewer to check out. Let's move along. Just
Well, may I make one injection here? I think it's noteworthy
go ahead.
to mention that the team the Charlotte Hornets, when Brandon Miller was drafted, Michael Jordan was the owner. I mean, I guess he owned it or he had just sold it, but he sold it for billions of dollars. But Michael Jordan had it for 13 years. So I'm saying the impact of Brandon Miller's is like Brandon Miller has something to strive for now because he wants to prove that he's more than just a shooter, as Michael Jordan inferred or stated as he came in through the draft. And so it's very relative to his gaining experience, but not only now he can concentrate on surpassing the GOAT. And I'll stop right there.
Ooh, great insight. I'll tell you another piece of that to add on to what you just said is that there is also another young player there named LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is part of the Ball family trio of basketball players that a few years ago, their father, LaMelo, not LaMelo, what is their father? LeVar Ball has 2 sons. His son, Lonzo Ball, came into the NBA highly touted and was the second pick by the Lakers. And Lonzo was subsequently injured some years ago and has been trying to pull himself back into peak condition to continue his career. But he was touted as being the next great player to come into the Lakers locker room.
Especially by his father.
Especially by his father, man. I mean, he was attacked relentlessly by the NBA players, and inevitably he wasn't able to live up to those expectations. At that same moment, there were 2 other sons, D'Angelo, who never made it into the NBA, and then the youngest son, LaMelo, who was a very small player at maybe 5'9", he went into high school, and then his father pulled him out and sent him overseas. While he was overseas, he grew to be 6'5". And then he came back to the United States, went to a high school called Spire, and grew 2 more inches to 6'7", and then entered the draft and was drafted by Charlotte. And LaMelo is also in Charlotte, and LaMelo is incredible. When you watch LaMelo Ball play basketball, it is like a basketball savant. If ever he is out of a place like Charlotte where they're a losing team, and he goes to a team where there is some spotlight, LaMelo will become an instant national star because he has gained it on that level. So Brandon Miller is also benefiting from playing with LaMelo and some other good players they have out there. Kyle Kniffel just came in as a rookie onto the team from Duke, where Kniffel was also paired with Cooper Flagg, who is now also in the NBA with the Dallas Mavericks. So, I mean, Charlotte is on the rise. They've drafted some great players, and it looks like they're going to be really good.
So it looks like it looks like.
Let me just end this off by.
Well, I wanted to say that it looks like our a visitor from California, 619-674. She might have something to say about this basketball situation. And if you do, your microphone is open, and you can go ahead and say something now.
No, I'm just a spectator.
Okay.
All right. Let me just share that it's good to have an industry made from the court to a business with the Ball family. I'll stop right there. It's the entire family.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and then if you ever have something to say, just take yourself off mute, and then we can recognize you. I'm sorry, Sister Martha, would you repeat that?
I apologize. I didn't realize I was over talking, speaking. I was I was saying it's good to see the Ball family and see their whole network. How their father turned it into a business rather than coming from the court himself into a formulation with his sons, and then with his wife, with their mother, and the grandparents being there. They have the support of the family, but it's a business that they've incorporated it as. So, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Well,
Excellent. I tell you, it is 12 o'clock, and of course, we're going to close this section of our show out. Next segment that we're going to have is called Let's Talk Real Quick. But before we dive in, I just want to let you know that please let everybody know, as our listeners, that we're here 11 to 2 p.m. every Sunday with the Cricket Digital Experience, in which we celebrate basketball, of course, from 11 to 12. And then in our 12 to 1 o'clock hour, we celebrate hip-hop. And today, in our session that we're going to add, Let's Talk Real Quick, we obviously have a script as we do always, but we're going to have a special guest joining us today, someone who I really appreciate coming into our cipher and talking with us a little bit. And so we're going to change up the way that we do the show today and really have a conversation with someone who I respect highly and appreciate in the hip-hop space. And so, let me get an opportunity. Please, let's go ahead and bring in Vaughn.
Yeah, here we go. It's our turn. You with us for now. They beautiful home. They talking about trust. We're about to get in here with the introduction to the whole damn world. It's our turn.
yeah. So Vaughn was on. Vaughn was on. He just Vaughn was on. He just clicked off. He was the 917 number that came in. So as soon as he comes back in, Bell, I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good. So let me just talk a little bit about this one brother, man, who, I really appreciate him coming in. We met each other a few years ago, a couple of years ago. A friend of mine introduced me to Vaughn. Vaughn is a hip-hop person, an individual who loves the culture, hip-hop culture and body, man. And it's just a pleasure that I'm able to bring somebody who not only is in the space, but we talk about hip-hop culture here, we always talk about it in the 5 components. We talk about DJing, MC, and B-boy, and graffiti, and knowledge. Many people engage in one or the other of these components. My brother Vaughn engages in 3 of these spaces, man. He is a DJ, he is a graffiti artist, and he is a B-boy. Legendary status, too. And it's just a pleasure to have someone come on, man, and share some of the experiences that they've had and talk a little bit about, his love, how he got involved in the culture, some of the things that he was able to do during his history, but then also to talk a little bit about what he has done here in New York City by putting together a space that I was able to perform at recently called the Here and Now Cultural Space, Hip-Hop Cultural Space. So, again, hopefully Vaughn will be back with us very shortly so that we can go ahead and have a conversation.
Vaughn is on. Your microphone is open, Vaughn. Welcome to the show.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hold on for a second, brother. Real quick, though. Let me get my earphone real quick.
Okay.
All right.
What about now? Still okay?
Yep.
Yeah, hear you well.
Yes, I hear you. All right, brother. Peace, man.
Yeah.
Vaughn, welcome to the Cricket Digital Experience here on A New Day Community Radio and American Muslim 360. Of course, you've met my pops before. My pops is the host, and of course, we have Sister Martha, who is also one of our hosts here, and we have our listeners. It's good to have you on, my friend.
Greetings to you, Vaughn.
Peace, yo. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully,
So how you doing today, boy? How's everything? How's everything going?
Everything's good, man.
Happy New Year,
Everything's
good.
chilling. Everything's chilling, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
thanks for
it's good to have you on.
yeah, thanks for having me. By the way, it's honor.
Yes, yes.
You know, respect you, the kid Bo, you know, and the fam. Just bless you.
Man,
Much love.
yo, much love, brother, man. And again, man, truly appreciate you, man. Always representing. I was telling somebody today, I think I was telling my wife, I was saying, what I really appreciate about the relationship that we have is that there is a consistency. Though, you know, we both live our lives and move around and do different things, you know, we are constantly and consistently catching up with one another, whether that's in a digital space or whether we see each other in person. And again, man, it is just a pleasure to have you join us here to talk a little bit more about the culture of hip-hop, man, is celebrated, as I know that you do. Tell us a little bit about your beginnings in hip-hop and how, you know, you became passionate about the thing that, you know, we all love so much.
I mean, I when I was a little kid, I already, you know, like, you know, love drawing, you know, like listening music, just the dance. It wasn't like hip hop culture, but I, hello?
Yes, sir. We hear you.
Okay. I hear my voice myself too, so yeah, I got a little.
You got to be careful of that echo. Yeah, you got to be careful of that echo.
Yeah, if you're in front of a speaker or something like that, there, then you know,
All right.
yeah, that might be a problem. Yeah, so just you know, don't look to listen to yourself. But while you do that, let me just say this about Fawn. How his name? How you say your name? Hyun or Unyu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unyu
is a legendary Korean b-boy artist and teacher known for his deep roots in hip-hop culture, especially breaking b-boys, representing crews like Rivers Crew and Mighty Zulu King, and sharing his knowledge globally through workshops emphasizing the interconnectedness of DJing, graffiti, and dance, a true embodiment of hip-hop fundamental culture. Yeah, that's who we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. And you should know, to our pioneer generation that might be listening, you should know that hip-hop is the future. So this is the place to come and stay aware and stay up to date about what's going on in hip-hop right here on A New Day for Al-Islam in America Community Insight every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go ahead, Juan. I just wanted to give them that introduction of you.
Oh man, thank you. So yeah, when I was a little kid, I was just love the drawing and listening to music and you know, stuff like that because of my family. Because all my family is kind of artists, you know. My mother's side, my mother's sisters and the grandma was a painter. And when I was a little kid, I just saw them all the time, and they joined and doing the show, art show, and I was involved the art show. When I was like 5 years old, I was already on the reality show too, because of the family situation. You know, I got lucky that far, and
So let me ask you, how old are you right now? How old are you?
what am I?
Yeah. So the only point that I'm trying to make is, when did you come into the hip hop culture, especially as far as dancing is concerned? Was you there at the very beginning or what? Tell us about that. How you got into that? Vaughn, are you on? Is your phone on mute?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you were cutting off. So what'd you say? Sorry?
I was saying that, you know, being in the beginning of hip-hop culture, what got you into b-boying? What got you into that? Do you know, what?
I started, okay, so, you know, I was, you know, the culture and art is already in my, you know, as in my, you know, little kid time, you know. But then, right, I started graffiti in 1997 because of the album cover in first generation of K-pop music called HOD. Wow. They had the full graffiti cover in and out, and you know, that time was CD. So I brought a CD, and they have a bunch of graffiti artwork in the album. So that's how I get into graffiti in 1997, and listening hip hop and drawing and wearing baggy pants and stuff like that. Yeah, that's 1997. Yep. And then I got into breaking in 1999. By the way, yeah.
What's interesting about that whole thing, man, in terms of you being able to get into the breakdancing space, and again, I know you for multiple components, man. You are a DJ who spins. I know you spin globally, different spaces. I know you love the 45s. You do a number of different things with the vinyl, and I'm sure you know you rock the Serato pieces as well.
Yeah.
But I know you for the DJing. The DJing piece, again, you got into the art, you got into the dance, but how did you get into the DJing space?
DJing just kind of like naturally, because naturally happened. Because I started, so in Korea, back in Korea in 2007. 2007, I mean 6 for sure. And we had a studio in Korea, River School. By the way, that's my crew from Korea. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Yeah, so River School.
You're on mute again, Born. Yeah, Born. I see you, but you know your phone is on mute.
Trying to make sure that, you know, the echo piece, because there's an echo coming in.
Yeah, sister. Yeah. So he had to log off. But you know what I wanted to ask him. What I wanted to ask him was about the.
Can we deal with that echo piece, because it's happening for me too.
You see, how's that? Does that clear it up somewhat? Does that clear it up?
Let me see, as I'm talking.
Yeah.
It's better. Yeah, it's important though, because, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, he's able to be heard, and definitely we hear that echo.
Yeah. Well, I don't hear an echo over here. He's back with us. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Born.
I think my microphone was weird. What about now?
Well, I hear you clearly. The thing is that if you hear I hear you clearly. Do you hear yourself clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We good then. We're good.
Okay, great.
All right. Great. Cool. All right. Yeah. So we had the turntable at the studio in 2006-ish. You know, at that time, I learned some like basic skill. You know, basic technique. It's just the finals and techniques. I love it. And then I start thinking deeper myself in 2010. First time I visited in Chicago, and I went to the Dusty Groove record shop. It's kind of world famous record shop in the world. We had a music video over there actually. one of my homies named JGIV. He's also from Micro Rivers and Zulu Kings as well. He's an MC, and he's not a b-boy, but he's a trained MC from Korea, but he's born in Brooklyn, so he can rap English and Korean at the time. So he was my boy. So we went to the kind of like US. I mean, we had some event, actually. We got invited to the Michigan University, and then he wanted to make his music video for his new album. So we went to the Chicago because of the, Michigan to Chicago is close. So we just went to Chicago, Dusty Grove record shop, and we made some cool music video. It's actually on the YouTube. And so maybe I can put you on later on, but it's great MC.
Yes, sir. I want to see that. I want to see that.
Word. You really love it. Yes, definitely. I look up to those kind of MCs, man. Like having the true soul and energy and love for the music, and
Yes, sir.
Well, let me. Are you?
Yeah, that's the time I really digging. That time, like start digging hardcore.
So was you? So you became
and digging. And hold on for a second, Pop.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry. Digging, just so people are clear, what that is going into a record store and looking through vinyl records to find unique records that can then be bought and played, and a DJ does find interesting break parts in which they can repeat that particular break part in order to create what is essentially hip hop music, like this repetition of a particular part of a record in order to make something unique out of a record that, was dug out of a particular record store. Just wanted to clear that up for everyone. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. That's the beauty of digging, I guess. And that's the hip hop come from, like breakbeats and stuff, beats, drums and stuff.
right. So, boy, they call them break beats, but I think that if for those who think, because break beats and gigging and this kind of language is for hip hop generation, but for those who are from the pioneer generation of maybe R&B and others, that when you actually are digging, you're actually looking for a chorus line, something that repeats itself over and over and over again, and it winds up being the foundation of the record. That's right. A loop. That's another way to say it. A loop, a chorus line that goes over and over. The thing about in R&B and in jazz and all the rest of that, it always comes back to the chorus line. It always comes back to the chorus line. You can have the lyric line and then the chorus, but you can do your thing in the lyric line, but then it always comes back to the chorus line. Always comes back.
Right.
So it always comes back.
100%. Like, I mean, I love, I'm a b-boy and I love the beats, like the breaks and stuff. But I also love all the any kind of the music, genre of music, especially like you say, jazz and soul, R&B, 100%. And I love to look some cool chorus or melody line, and I love look for that too. Not only the beats and breaks,
Right.
So because of that also come from. I mean, that's also before the hip hop, and hip hop got inspired from that. So
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you.
For me, that's the hip hop.
That's what I wanted to ask you. That's what I wanted to ask you, Bourne, because it seems like you started your journey as far as hip hop is concerned in Korea, and so how did that come about? Because if hip hop started in America, then how did it develop in Korea?
We definitely have our own style, for sure, of the culture, subculture.
Yeah.
But we didn't really have that information of like original like Bronx party thing back in the 1970s stuff, you know? We didn't have that information. You know what I'm saying? Like until 2005, like we didn't have that information. But of course, you know, as a human, you know, it's dope. It's called hip hop culture. It's so dope. Hip hop culture is just so dope to just be involved, you know, I guess, and just doing it, you know, work, you know, and that's how Korea have their own like hip hop like community and
Yeah.
like so yeah, and there's you know and there's for sure older brothers, you know, so they I saw them when I was a little kid, you know. So like breaking, DJing, and singing.
Do you remember that?
So,
What's the name of some of these guys?
You know.
What's the name of these guys that started that you looked up to when you was a young?
That was like it's called NY Crew. The crew name is NY Crew. NY Crew. New York Crew. They were usually dope, you know. I'm still look up to them too. And also Still on the Groove. Still on the Groove is a b-boy crew. From that NI Crew. And NI Crew used to be hip hop crew. And Still on the Groove is just a b-boy section, you know? So Still on the Groove, NI Crew, Expansion Crew, you know.
So was there you know, because, you know, the basis of hip hop, I just want you to know that we also have on with our sister Rashida, who's also a musician, you know, and a one of the hosts on A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio. But you know, just knowing that the lyrical part in Korean language, in the Korean language, does it also have to do with rhyme and flow in the Korean language as far as hip hop lyrics?
100%, like books, you know.
Well, yeah.
Line,
tell us some some hip hop lyrics in Korean language, and let's hear the rhyme and flow.
There's a lot of stuff going to the mind, but you're on the spot, boy.
But see, but that's the thing, though.
I can't.
But
I can't do it right now, but yeah, we do.
Right.
We do have, but I heard from you, I heard from Kivel, respect to you a lot, Pops.
Alhamdulillah.
And, you know, that's how you get into it. I heard that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Hey, Sister Rashida, we just want you to know.
I'll jump in right.
Okay.
I'll jump in right here. Right? And say, to build on what Bourne just said, number one, for our listeners, my father and I went out last year to an event in Brooklyn, and this was the first time that my father met Bourne at this particular event. It was a graffiti event out in Brooklyn at a spot I believe was called Ketchup. And it was a dope event there where we were able to meet one another and talk a little bit. It was fashion there, it was graffiti, there was DJ, and I was able to go ahead and do a freestyle there with another incredible guy, man, DJ from Zulu, my brother Miles High, DJ Miles. So that Miles slide. Yes, sir. And then so recently, as I was sharing with you, I appreciate you, brother. And again, man, this is why I love being on with masters, folks who understand their particular spaces and, of course, the culture. You know, the brothers appreciate what I'm able to do, come through with a mastery of seeing, because that's my mastery space. And I was always and have always shouted out my father, as Bourne just did with what he said to you about him getting into things because of his parents, because of his elders and folks who, you know, kind of brought him into the creative space. My father is also very influential in that. And so when I went out to perform just recently at Bourne's Space here and now, hip hop cultural space out in Brooklyn, 205, 205 Central Ave.
Yes, sir. Yep. Brooklyn.
Yes.
So anytime, yeah, you guys welcome on the
Yeah. Yeah, please, man. You know what I'm saying? Incredible graffiti out there. So I went out to just add to the vibe of this wonderful showcasing of graffiti out there, man. And some of the artists who were out there, one of them created the Quick Hitters tag that I used and have used for a number of years. My brother Bizer, who introduced me to Born. Yeah, man, one of my great brothers, man, I really appreciate him, man, and this is connection that happened. That space, I was able to talk about pop and how he really was an influence to me way before there was a rapper who was out in the mainstream or that was on a record label. My father was my idol as a rapper. And so that conversation was, and I shared all over the place and shared that. And so that's what Dawn was referencing as well, that I was talking about that. And I was able to say one of the rhymes, man, that Pop, had me learn when I was young. And I went out, man, and used that as kind of like my basis for letting people know that I could spit. So, I appreciate you. Beautiful. Mention that, man. Yes, sir, man. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, again, we continue to do what we do together. And, in that space, you jumped down, man, and you started breaking, right?
Right. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
And the energy was right. The energy was
no doubt.
When you have the video, I probably will put it up at some point so people can see that. And I appreciate you letting me out there to do that, man. But that top rocking thing, man, when I first saw you, man, when we first met, I used to be like, why you don't go and hit the floor? You know what I mean? Like, it's good with he always top rocking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then I started to kind of watch some of the videos and started to discover that that's one of the things that you really stand out for within the community as a b-boy. Let's talk a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, nowadays actually I'm more focused on top style, but man, of course I love, footwork and powers and, everything of breaking in general, I love that and still try to practicing too, but actually, it's like, for me, it's like, year by year for this, the breaking thing, it makes me bring it back to the beginning. Like, the beginning was the rocking, like all of that, So before breaking and hip hop, it was about outlaw style of the dance or rock dance and up rocking and stuff. So but now I'm really more focused on that. Like, what was the before the breaking or hip hop, stuff like that. So, we can go back more, more and more from that. But I think right before hip hop, right? Like late 60s or early 70s, it was all about pop rocking style, So like it's kind of like a battle style, shooting, cutting, punching, but never touch each other, But thanks to the funk music like James Brown and so that music actually the rock then started, B-boy started later. So that's my big inspiration now, bro. Yeah.
What I love about that is that, I tend to try to talk to people about the fact that, though many people today love to grab onto the narrative that hip hop is a negative thing, that it has a negative effect on people.
Yeah.
True. the history, especially the history of what you just spoke about, top rocking, up rocking, and the way in which it encompassed movements of like fighting, right?
Yeah.
Into it, in order, but never really touching one another.
No, that's
aggression.
that's whack. If you touch people, that's you're not
Right.
Yeah.
You're not ready to get in this arena, but that also was the way in which gangs and people who were, adversaries against each other were able to use hip hop, this particular technique, which inevitably evolved to b-boying, as a way to, instead of having violent interactions with each other, were able to establish their dominance or who's better than who based on this type of, dance style, aggressive movements that, again, are rooted in the up rock space.
So there is a difference between. There is a difference, because I think this needs to be understood, especially by our pioneer generation, that there is a difference between b-boying and up rocking, or what is the difference? Because I heard you say up rocking is like when you don't hit the floor when you up rock. Is that how that goes? And when you hit the floor, is it called something else? Is it called b-boying, or what is it called when you? Yeah. Explain that.
Yeah, for sure. Like the rock dance or up rocking, it stayed on the top, but it also going down to the floor too, but very shortly, very short, quick, and then you gotta get up pretty quick, and then continue staying on the top. But breaking is when you get down to the floor, you stay longer. You stay on the floor basically, right? You spin on your back, or you footwork, or you using your knee, neck, face, all this stuff. So that's a big difference for me. Also, the music is different too, because the breaking, you get down for the break part, the break beat, the short part, right? And then DJ cutting off it, like a looping, whatever, But the up rocking, you gotta dance to the whole song, like from beginning to the end, like whole song, full song. So it's more musically, musical aspect. I guess it's more for that.
So more musicality that involved.
So
but breaking is all that too,
So do b-boys, do break dancers have their own DJs, or they make up their own joints, or they have their own DJs?
I mean, some DJs know. Yeah, we have a break DJ. It's called break DJ. But that's kind of coming later on, like I think 80s or 90s. It's called break DJ. We only play at the b-boy jams and b-boy battles and stuff. Cutting up really nice and like very they digging for the b-boys.
Is that something that they practice? Do they practice that? I could ask a lot of questions. I'm sorry, I apologize, but this is so interesting, man. It's so interesting, man.
You got a lot to ask. I just want to also ask this question because Vaughn went off into a space, man, where, I definitely wanted to go, just to talk a little bit about the history of the Rivers Crew and its competitive in those areas of breaking competitions, man. I've seen videos. Matter of fact, maybe it was yesterday or the day before, I saw a video, man, from 2001 that was posted. And I'm just like, I can't believe my brother's been involved in this for such a long time, these competitive competitions. Which now, but also, you know what I'm saying, judging these competitions all around the globe at this point, man. But in terms of you guys getting into that competitive space, just talk a little bit about the Rivers Crew and what you guys were able to do, in terms of battle space in Richmond?
Man, yeah, Rivers, those guys, we were same neighbors, back in the day, same school, so I look up to them before I get down Rivers. And then I get down Rivers was 2004. It was, happy, amazing feeling, still have that. And this time, so they're my neighbor heroes back then, Because like you think about your probably, similar, I guess. And then I got down with them was so amazing. And this time was blow up the breaking culture in Korea too. That time was really getting bigger and bigger about the competition. So there's a lot, so many events every weekend that time. Almost like every day, you say, tomorrow or day, And so, so that time was like Korea B-boy was getting huge, and people from different countries, they getting know about Korean B-boy at the time too. But Michael Rivers was doing something different than other crews. I can say that because we're more focused on what was that? Like original breaking style, like B-boy style. Like in that time, Korea was more focused on the power moves, like spin moves, like stuff like that, But we're like, no, we gotta really do it right, and we try to study the hip hop too. At the time, trying to get the information much as we can, traveling and talk to people and getting information from internet. But internet wasn't really big at that time, early 2000, right? So
you had to travel,
right? To all these,
you had to travel, right?
Like some pioneers, get some ideas and answers, stuff like that, and then we try to do something that nobody done before this time,
That's the thing.
And it seems to work, my brother, man, because again, man, it's been a number of years that you guys, have videos all on YouTube, man, of all kinds of competitions and contests, man, where I just mean amazing stuff. And I kind of know what you mean by unique style, because when I watch some of the videos, I can see that it isn't just based on the spins. It isn't just based on, air flares or
right.
There are other pieces that you guys have added in. Talk a little bit about that. What made your style and Korean style different?
Yeah, I mean, because so that time 2004, like we're kind of like knew what's going on, like where we gonna go, what's the hip hop and what's the originals and stuff like that. And then we traveled to Japan, I think 2004. I mean, I'm not too sure. And then we battled some guys from like New York guys that time in Japan, like straight up cypher battle. No time, no rounds, just maybe like for hours, I guess. And then we got smoked. We got smoked. And then we kind of figured out, okay, this is what it is for sure, like, found it.
Right.
Okay, this is breaking original style. Because it was like KML, techniques, which is like, these guys represent Rocksteady crew that time from New York. So,
and you talking Rocksteady, the legend.
Like new generation, but new generation Rocksteady crew. So, legendary for sure, and they kind of like brought like New York hardcore b-boy to Japan. But thank God we were there, and we saw that, in the face, you know, and then just we're like, okay, let's bring this back to Korea, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yo,
Yeah.
listen, I think that it again speaks to the power of hip hop. Growing up here in New York City during the 70s, as a young person who was, being introduced to the culture, seeing breakdancing for the first time, popping, locking, up rocking, all of these things, man, was so exciting to us. That it was another way of really expressing ourselves in a physical way. And so the physicality of it, being able to continue to do some of the things that we see and the evolution of it, especially when we saw movies like in the beginning, you would see Wild Style, or when we saw, Beach Street, which were commercial versions of it, but we were literally out in the streets seeing this on a regular basis, and the evolution of it to go around the world has been amazing. And so again, as you've done this work over the years, man, and now you judge all over the place, what is it that you look for as a judge or as someone who has this level of knowledge and experience when you're looking at the new generation
and
people?
And adding into that, because some of the things that you've been saying, I mean, going to Japan and having guys from New York going to Japan and knowing that this hip hop, this b-boy and breakdancing style is all over the world, and you being a judge because you know how to judge that, also add into the idea of hip hop breakdancing being an Olympic sport now that can be judged.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on actually for that nowadays, because the Olympic and stuff too, because we're kind of having new systems now, because there's some guys nowadays, he's very serious to enter the band, I mean, I used to be like that too, but it's more serious, I think, that he's talking, you gotta win, you gotta go to Olympics, represent a country, but it's kind of changed, but but my only thing, what I'm looking for and I'm judging is style. It's like, that's for sure, like style, unique, how different, what's the difference, from others, right? You know what I mean? Right. Some competition makes you same person as other person, I mean, make the same style, because like I say, we have some new systems going on nowadays. So you gotta be it's on the character what you want to see. So you gotta practice that way. So it's not about how different or how unique.
It's not about originality. It's more about being able to these requirements. It's the requirement in order to be judged. Now there's a system and a standard rather than it being you go out and you have some knowledge of all of the basics and then you build a style around that. No, now they want you to make sure you're hitting these things in order to say, hey, you've completed a complete breakdancing or b-boying set, rather than, how good or different this person is.
Right. You're correct, brother. Thank you. Thank you, bro. So, yeah, man. That's actually, but, it's dope to see, too, like getting more bigger, more audience, some kind of evolution, but at the same time, I'm kind of worried about it too. Like, the new generations, man, like they don't really care about the knowledge or hip hop, you know, or elements, how connect. Just to think about winning or, you know, the money, prize money and stuff, you know. That's not
What you saying, boy? That there are money competitions out there in the world as far as b-boying?
yes, they're getting a lot of sponsors, like sponsors, you know.
That echo is back popping.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We work on that.
Very well.
Yeah, I think, you know, like it's not bad, you know, it's cool, you know, time change, you know, you can doing as professional job, you know, that's cool. But at the same time, like what about the culture, you know, what about like what's up with the original, you know, base?
Well, you know, let me say this to you, boy. Let me say this to you, boy. That culture always starts out as raw, natural, organic. It always has an organic movement when it starts out. But as time goes on, you know, it winds up being defined. The elements always wind up being defined in culture. And it doesn't matter, you know, what part of culture it is. So you have been in it for a while and you understand the organicness of it. You understand the rawness of it. You understand the beginnings of it. But it has been around so long that, you know, with so many people being in it, they have defined it. They've started to define the different ways that and the elements that are in it now. So the new generations that actually come up in it, you know, whenever they do something in it, and let's just talk about as far as b-boying is concerned, it's like, oh, we've already seen that move that you're doing, and what we call that move is. And so it's been defined.
Yeah.
And so then the thing is that the young person is like, well, what else can I add to this that has not been done already?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that, you know, in that whole thing with the Olympics, I think that, you know, it's like you said, that they've already defined it, and they say, well, we want you to hit this, we want you to hit that, we want you to hit this, we want you to hit that. But now what we also want you to do, we want to see how you're going to bring some originality in with that.
Yeah.
Let me dive in. I'm going to, while I make my flaws, sister, I wanted to just dive in and then we're going to come right to you, sister, that I love that, what you said, Pop, to add on, is that yes, we have defined those things, and in doing so, I would think that as born as someone who's seen a lot in this space, that it's also clear to you when you can see someone or a group of individuals across the spectrum who have a natural, who have a pure, who are doing unique things, so they have defined things that they want to have and have to have in their toolkit, but they are expanding the art form. I'm sure you see some that do that. Are there any that you could actually name right now? We may be able to check out.
Vaughn, you with us?
Oh, hello? Yes.
Yeah, did you hear him?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I was just wondering, you know, if there's like an art b-boy right now who embodies like the technical skills that people might look for, but also is evolving in the b-boy space.
Oh man, I mean, there's a lot, yo. There's a lot for sure. I look up some young guys like Leon, you know, from Japan. Rayon, he's he's actually my crew though, ready to rock. But I just looking at him as just he's just dope b-boy in general for me. Got everything. Next generation. He's like 17 years old now, and he's winning every jam now, like 101 and stuff like that, and he got that like classic flavor, at the same time, which is really cool to see, nowadays.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, and he got, he still have long journey, so you never know. Yeah, like he's gonna be another like crazy b-boy that he's gonna have. But now it's so dope, I'm not really watching any other b-boys video anymore nowadays, be honestly, but I watching him, and also one of my another man, another from also Japan, man, and his name is Ski.
Yeah.
And he's also have everything. Those guys is so dope because for me, like I can't say better than me because they can do everything. Like they can do powers, phrases and crazy spinning, and then also off rocking, burns, style, footwork, like they know how to do all this stuff. Which is so crazy. I love power too, but I don't really do like them, like.
Well, you've been. I mean, man, these are young guys, man. You're a veteran in this field, man. Man, nobody don't expect you. Nobody don't expect you to be, messing around with them young boys, man. To that degree.
Let us see a picture. We still young too, right? You know what I'm saying? Rashida jump in, man. Assalamualaikum, Sister Rashida, jump in and enjoy the conversation.
Yes.
This is so electric. I'm just enjoying it. This is fiery. This is, I was thinking about the creativity. That was the word I wanted to use. When you see this energy, it's like electric and magnetic at the same time. It's quantum. And, movement is a funny thing. Movement and rhythm. It's just, and I remember my days. I had a flashback. I thought I had a dance heat. And, I mean, when you get into that vibe, when you get into that rhythm, it gets so spiritual. It don't be you anymore. And so it's like this surge of creativity comes out, and you just fly.
Yes.
Amazing.
And so when you see these young people with all this creative energy, it's amazing because, I know I can't even do it anymore. I can't even dance anymore. But when I see the movement, and then they have a thing on YouTube, AI, and I said, this is sinful. This is sinful here, the way this is so beautiful. How they got now, how they have animated the animation of this. And I'm like, who comes up with these thoughts? My goodness.
Human beings.
That's like,
Human beings.
who came up with sugar, huh?
Yeah.
I'll stop there, but I'm enjoying it.
No, amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
We really appreciate that. We really appreciate all of you.
I appreciate you guys too. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, we definitely wanna. We also too, man. Just on this other side, we have about 6 minutes left, and I just want to also mention about the graffiti piece. With Born, man, out here at the spot, man. He had the Papyrus event, man, where he showcased some really incredible graffiti artists. But I've also been to a couple of spaces, man, where I've seen what you do in terms of graffiti. and the art that you present, man, and it's fantastic. It's colorful. It's bright. It's
man.
just talk to us, briefly. Talk to us briefly about some of the places, man, that you've been able to go and put your tag up. You know what I'm saying? Or one of where that zeros up, man. All across the. Talk to us a little bit about that, man. Before we close out.
Oh man, yeah, this is definitely feeling blessed when I'm getting off my name in other countries, feeling so dope, and nowadays, man, like, bombing wise, like the tagging and stuff, I'm
explain those terms so that
have like
Born, explain those terms. Explain those terms.
Of course.
What you call bombing and what else? And
bombing.
Yeah,
bombing. Illegal graffiti. Like because that's a real graffiti. You gotta get up your name. You gotta get up and go out rocking.
But I also know that there are these spaces now, man, that aren't illegal spaces. Like, for instance, when we went up, I came up and got with you guys at Blue Walls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Word up.
Yeah, Blue Avenue. Or like I know a spot out in Brooklyn, and there's a brother who has a spot called Bed-Stuy Walls. Out in Brooklyn. Where, spaces where artists come and it's allowed so that it can be showcased in the way, you know what I'm saying, that allows people to come by and really enjoy the art form in an illegal way, in a way that, you know what I'm saying, allows folks to come by. And like you have a gallery where people can come in and see. There are galleries all over the world that are showcasing graffiti inside of their spaces. So, just talking about those particular things.
Oh, yeah, of course, man. I mean, that's why what I'm trying to say, like, I'm trying to have that balance, because, I want to, I'm a, the true graffiti writer, myself, so I got to get up. And also, I want to think about how I'm going to do it, too, with this graffiti culture. What should I do, or what can I do for community, or for generation, stuff like that. So, yeah, that's why, the place that I'm working now, here in Now Space, is very important, for me, because
Yes, sir.
I can showcase what is about the graffiti, and art. I'm trying to really put together, because graffiti is not art. Graffiti is writing, it's
right, signature. Yeah.
Of course, the graffiti is art, but some people call graffiti artists, But for me, I'm not a graffiti artist. I'm a graffiti writer. That's I can say, because we're writing the letters, That's the straight to the point, Writing letters, writing graffiti, But I want to incorporate it with the art too, because like I say in the beginning, I don't know if you guys remember it, but my family is all painters, my mother's side. So the art is already in my life, before I met hip hop, I started culture. So I want to really put together, man, and having different writers from different countries is showcasing their art skills, with canvas or paper, whatever the deal, Sometimes get out from the walls and on trains, and that's the real graffiti. Sometimes think about some other way,
So what's your
try to help for the other
what's your style line signature when you bomb? When you write born?
Oh, it's here now, here, ATRE, and now also.
Okay.
But now is actually my wife does it before. All right, here is shit right now. So we bomb together back then, and that's why the name of the place is here now, actually. Some people don't really know.
New York.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. It's definitely spiritual.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a 30-day place. So, yeah. So, word up. Yeah. Yeah, listen, man, I didn't get up hard, yo. I didn't get up hard with the here, not the Born. Honestly, Born is a B-boy character, so I'm still writing Born too, but more likely here. I used to writing, here, Atere.
Let me tell you something. Yo, I needed to get you on this show, right? I just needed to have my bro come on, man.
Beautiful.
Especially because this is a
Thank you.
celebration of hip-hop culture. There's no way in the world. As a matter of fact, I've worked with Born actually out in the schools, and hopefully we'll be doing some more stuff. Just before we go, tell them, what they can look forward to at the Here and Now space and coming up for you in the near future.
Oh man, like it's Tuesday to Sunday, 3 to 7 p.m. we open gallery as a space now. It's called Here and Now Cultural Space in Bushwick, Brooklyn, Central Avenue. 205 Central Avenue is nearby the Gate Avenue station and train. Also L train, J train is really easy to come. So please come check the vibes. We have great art and some cool floor, good music, vinyls only, and also we have coffee on the weekend.
And you have coffee. I wanted to make sure people know. You have that coffee, man. People love that coffee, brother.
Yes, sir. It's amazing. She does an amazing job for that, and please come check it. And also, you can check www.hearingnowfurniture.com. You can check all the news and what's going on nowadays for our space. And
Listen.
Yeah, man. And also, Kivel, also, really want you to bring you back for other party for the artwork with it. We're gonna have I think the closing party in the spring. But I want to keep you updated, and I really want to have you again. Let's figure it out with the 360. If you're okay, And
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, brother. I want to see all you guys there too.
Yes, sir. All right.
Listen, brother, let me tell you something. You know that we have made a connection and we already have a bond, and we're going to continue building on the foundation and that we've already been establishing, and I'm definitely there anytime. Just like
Also, I want you to come on too.
yesterday. Listen, we have some conversations to have, and we'll make sure we have those conversations, man. It's going to be great because I also had Born go out and teach somewhere with the Quick Hitters educational program, and we'll surely be trying to do more of those things together very soon. My brother, I truly appreciate you for taking the time and joining with us, man, here on the Let's Talk Real Quick in the Quick Hitter Digital Experience. Thanks again, man, to you and to all the things you do, man. Please, we'll make sure we put up the website so that people can go and check out, and definitely also support, if you can, the artists who are up. There are, right at this moment, artists who have features displayed at Here and Now Cultural Space, so we want you to be able to check that out. Again, this is a show that is going out to the nation, so there may be some opportunities to really, support some folks that are out here doing what is called graffiti writing. Again, this is Born, one of the most incredible dudes that I know, and I thank you, my brother, for coming on today.
Man,
Thank you, bro.
for having me on.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thank you, sir.
Much love.
Give 'em much love.
And respect.
Yes, sir.
Much love, much respect, and I will see you soon, my brother. Thank you very much for being here today.
Man, thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too, bro.
Have a great weekend.
Yo. Hi, y'all.
Peace
Peace
and
and
love.
love. Peace, y'all. Peace and love.
Yeah.
Talk to you shortly. One.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our special guest who came on to showcase some love and share some experiences, man, from not only one of the fundamental elements of hip hop, but from multiple spaces, man, and also to just show the impact that hip hop has had all across the globe in different spaces, not just here, but it's been a saving grace and also an inspiration to folks all across the globe and continues to do so, as Pop likes to always say. Go ahead, Pop.
Words of power light.
Words of power light. Words of power light. Words of power light. Words of power light. Words of power light. Words of power light. Words of power light. Say it ain't so, but you already know. Say it ain't so.
That's right. So we say it ain't so, but you already know that this is the conversation, the experience, and the movement. Protesting gone wrong. The conversation is protests exist because systems stop listening. It's meant to create visibility and urgency. But when protests lose discipline or clarity, the focus can shift from the issue to the chaos. The cause doesn't disappear. The message just gets buried. The real tension isn't whether protest is needed, but how quickly momentum can be lost when strategy breaks down. That's the conversation. Kavel?
The conversation arose because of the recent killing of a protester in Minnesota. There has been back and forth about the specifics of why it was that this protest was occurring in Minnesota, who was involved in this protest that seemed to be like a flash protest, but also has been described as I watched an interview with the DHS Secretary, Department of Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, saying that this group of individuals protesting had been protesting and following around ICE agents through the city for several days. And so the incident that we all saw on video was just a culmination of a number of instances that had been occurring across the city during that 7-day period, of course, resulting in the death of an individual. The protest clearly had to do with the effort that ICE has been making to arrest, detain, and deport illegal immigrants throughout the country. Yet this here has now turned into a narrative around the protesters and not become about the aggressive pursuing of immigrants in America, illegal immigrants, as characterized by the administration. So just bringing up the conversation, opening up the floor to hear what people are thinking, and also remembering that we're really talking about how this has now moved from a conversation about moving illegal immigrants out of the country to now the actions that ICE agents have taken in killing a protester.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that there's another way for us to look at it, because that's the way that we see it on the surface. We see it as protest. We see it as an assertive, and it's not even, you can't even call it assertive. That's not the right word for it. The right word is aggressive. The aggressive action by those who call themselves the federal government. The federal government that takes into the Border Patrol, the FBI, all of these law enforcement agencies that are federal, that are going into the states that have different rights, okay? The people live in the states. The federal is over the whole country, and the whole idea is that the federal is supposed to be going in and getting the immigrants out. But what we're finding is that the federal is being very aggressive with their American citizens. Why? The cover excuse is, well, we're going in and we're looking for immigrants that we want to throw out the country. But the reality is that they're there to incite incite a reaction from American citizens. That's the way it's playing out. So you can call it whatever you want to call it. This current administration can say that they're looking for illegal immigrants. They could say that, but the fact of the matter is that they are being very aggressive with American citizens. And the question becomes that we will go into a little later is why. Why? So that's what I have to say. But the microphones are open, and if you have something that you'd like to add to it, please, you can respond now. Okay, I guess we got to go a little further, Bill, before anybody, has.
That's fine, because I want to also present.
Assalamu alaikum. I apologize. I had to find my mute button.
Hold on, Cavell.
Her name
Cavell?
was Renee Mackler Good.
Yeah, go ahead, Cavell, because Sister Martha has something she wanted to say.
The woman who was shot and killed, her name was Renee Mackler Good, and she was in her car protesting. She had taken her car and blocked a street and was refusing to move and was antagonizing herself and her wife. Her wife's name is Becca Good, were actively being insightful to the ICE agent. And we know this because we've seen the video of what was happening on their end as well. So my question is, when you talk about the ICE agents going in to take, say, for instance, illegal immigrants who are Venezuelan, is it necessary, though it may have good intention, for folks who are not Venezuelan to be actively engaged in this protest at such an intense level, not excusing the murder or assassination of this woman, but is there some truth to the fact that as American citizens, we still have to be careful, understanding that there is an authority that has been granted the right to shoot you if there is if there is a incident in which they feel unsafe.
Sister Martha?
Yes, in light of that, I just say empathy is one thing where you care about or you have a concern for the treatment of others, or you have a desire to help others. And then as we speak of a protest, that means you're proactive, you're proactively involved in a situation to a degree but you have to enter into it responsibly. And that means that it's best not to go into any action without a planned process of exit, or knowing what to say, when to say it, how to say it, to whom it should be said. And at any time it emerges or it reaches a point of a contest, to the point that one of the two are not able to disengage, where truly when a gun is pointed at you, or the protest is, I mean, the antagonist is such against the protest, such as the officer identified as the ICE agent became very, very, very much offended, to where he could not control his actions. And the other being a protester, protesting for a cause. And I just wanted to share their communication methods. It says the message is communicated through various forms, including holding signs, marching or allying, giving speeches, symbolic actions like wearing specific clothing or holding a vigil, using simple, memorable slogans to break through the noise and create a shared frame. Now, and so at any cost, no one is needed to die from a situation, as this young lady did, and as a protest that was held in front of the quote unquote White House, where the young lady was driven over. In any situation, and the choking methods of different individuals, a protest is a protest, but the human intellect, the person has to be able to think beyond their own intentions and see the extreme intention of the other. I'll stop right there.
Well, Walaikum Assalam.
Walaikum Assalam.
347-751. Go ahead.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
Alaikum assalam.
Sister Mahatma, go ahead.
Yes. I came upon the link stood up on my screen, this program. I had never listened to the program before, but I believe Allah guided me to tap on and bring the link up to here, because in following these incidences since they've occurred, and I think number one, that we have to emphasize the constitutionality involved here in terms of protesting. One of the reasons I think it's important for us to be concerned about them and prominent in is the command that Allah makes in the Quran. He says, wherever you see injustice occurring, and this has been in the news for a number of weeks, the injustice of the type of behavior that's been engendered by the federal government on the seas in other countries, etc., that we have an obligation commanded by Allah to change it with our hands, or change it without our feet, or to feel bad about it in our heart. And that has been associated with the weakest response. So I am encouraged by the stand that certain arenas in the United States, the citizens are taking in terms of protecting their First Amendment rights, regardless of suspicion intentions, which a lot of the commentary made by the Vice President the other day was based on suspicion. And we have this obligation in terms of respecting constitutional rights of the American citizen. So I honor that in Oregon, in Minnesota, where this took place, right? As they have been encountering much opposition and aggression. I agree with that definition of the actions that have taken place that have been sanctioned by the federal government to take place upon the citizens' rights of the citizens of the United States. My understanding as I listen and follow the news media responses is that this person, this lady, had dropped her children off at school and on a route that put her in proximity with the focus. I've never heard any encounter or description that it was her prior intention after dropping her children off at school to go and participate correctly. I used it, correct me if I'm wrong,
But after listening to several media descriptions of what they found out about her motivation, if anything, nothing suggested that it was her intention. However, when she encountered this arena where it was taking place, her sentiments might have been in favor of the protest, the right to protest, since that was what was being challenged by a government. And there's safety in doing peaceful protesting, and perhaps spontaneously, she was looking for the way to offer support. Right? I never got the impression that she had time to decide and mitigate how to contribute her resistance to it. Things came to her so quickly, right? And so at one point, I perceived her as really trying to decide how to ensure her safety, how to take a position perhaps of support, but never suspecting that her life would be in danger. Whereas in many of the reports of years, we've encountered the disparaging behavior of the officials and the confusion that reigns in the cities where they are prominent as to what their intention purposes are. So I'm going to pause right there. There are some other things that I wanted to offer them. And then yesterday, a Muslim sister came forward to be a part of the peaceful protest there and defend the unreasonable killing of this woman who, as I view the videos, seemed to constantly be trying to position her cover to extract herself once she found out the behavior, the behavior of the ICE officer. So I'll stop right there.
Let me say this. Walaikum assalam, Sister Rashida.
Well, go ahead, Sister Rashida.
Thank you. When it seems like when people fighting injustice, chaos is on the rise, right in the middle of it. And the people who you're fighting against, like ICE, they're fearful, but at the same time, they feel like they have the right. They feel like they have the right. Not you, not the person who's protesting. And my understanding was Sister Good, she was like a spectator, but in the propaganda, and so she blocked the ICE people trying to get to somebody else and then try to ram walls. So they're gonna put something out there. You know how it is when they shoot one of our children down, they say he had a gun, he had a this, or he had drugs. So it's not gonna be a clean thing ever. So because they have to justify what they do, because it's like the National Guard and all these people, they're so fearful. And they live in fear. They take these jobs, even policemen. I've talked to policemen. And they say when they go out there, they don't never know if they're going back home. So they're, all this flight is all over them, this energy. And so when they look up and see people doing things, when they see people doing things, loud and rallying and, protesting and talk about what they will do, you don't know who in the crowd is going to do anything. You just don't know. So where does the peace come in at? You ask that question. And innocent people who come most times And I've done it. You know, they had a protest here, and I said, I'm not a person that protests. I like to do the three things. If I can't change it with my hand, change it with my mouth, change it with my heart. Well, I'm a coward. A lot of times you say, I'm going to pray about it. And leave it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when I read about the lady, I said, wow, what such innocence she was, just sitting in her car. You know, and how often does this happen? All the time, y'all. So I just wanted to express that, you know, these people, they put these people out here, these men and women, and they're already intimidated. They come at you with fear. And so if you're not careful, you know, they come in our neighborhood. And, you know, we tell our boys, we tell our young men, don't say anything to them. If they ask you a question, you know, be passive about it. But it's not about that. They already got their own hang-up.
Right.
And
but,
so,
you know,
you have to watch as well as pray on it. That's all I say.
Let's take it from here, too, because there's, you know, what does ICE stand for? You know, of course, we call them ICE agents, but do we really know what that stands for? Okay, it stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That's what that's in immigration, customs enforcement. Now, you know, we have enforcement as far as city law enforcement. We have enforcement as far as state law enforcement is concerned. But then now you have the federal government coming into cities, taking over city enforcement, taking over state enforcement, and using federal enforcement in order to assert power over people. The other part is this here. The question becomes why? Why is the federal government sending in immigration and customs enforcement? It is under the guise of kicking illegal immigrants out. But they are constantly being met by American citizens that live in cities and states. And they are being aggressive and agitating these people. So the president uses Posse Comitatus, the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. This is when the federal law prohibits federal military personnel, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, from directly participating in civilian law enforcement activities, such as arrest, searches, and seizures. However, what they can use is the Posse Comitatus Act that passed in 1807 that authorizes the president to use the federal military. We're talking about ICE within the United States in specific extreme situations. So the federal government now, and just to let you know, after this shooting that has happened in Minnesota, the federal government has sent 1,000 more troops into Minneapolis, Minnesota. For what? Because it authorizes the president to use federal military because they want to incite, because the federal government wants to have a reason for the federal government to stay in power by using these.
That's bullying. I want to jump in here because I just want to jump in here for a second, right? Because I'm gonna with that the conversation has been established. Let's move to experience.
Okay.
I live as a black man in America, and we all as Black Americans, I'm sure, have had our own experiences with law enforcement or with some authority in this country that tries to utilize its power over us in circumstances. Now, whether that may be small or large, we are very cautious. That cautiousness comes from the understanding of the history of the American law enforcement apparatus. I myself, through multiple experiences, have had interactions. I'll tell you of a couple. One, I remember I was going into see a friend of mine in the projects where I live, in the housing project. And the housing project is known for criminal activities, and so there were oftentimes police officers stationed outside and around the perimeter, and sometimes inside of the building itself. And I was coming from the friend's apartment. And as I was coming down, I decided I didn't want to take the elevator. I was going to go down the steps. He lived on the second floor. It wasn't a big effort. I just said, hey, I'm trying to get out of here. It's probably 1 o'clock in the morning. And I go down, and as I come out of the staircase, there are 2 police officers stationed. And they immediately start to question me about where I'm coming from and what I'm doing. And I, innocently, what do you mean? I'm coming from a friend's house. I'm on my way home. And they continue to question me, inevitably handcuffing me because I refused to tell them where I was, what apartment I came from, and from where I was coming and going. And this turned into an interaction in which I knew my rights. I didn't fight with them. I let them handcuff me. But I also requested that they call their on-duty supervisory officer. And their supervisory officer, the white shirt, shows up, and they released me. And they were then, I would assume, spoken to about the way in which they treat individuals who are coming out of a building. Yes, you have suspicion. Yes, there may be reasons to suspect. But at the same time, there has to be a process, a relationship with individuals in that neighborhood, right, that you understand that everyone is not engaging in those particular activities, and so thus you have to give them some grace in their environment. It was it was not traumatizing, but just another example of how we as people of color have been treated in this country. There was another incident in which I was standing at a pizza shop in my neighborhood across Park There's an Echo. I was standing by the pizza shop, and all of a sudden, I was approached by 4 police officers who said that There's an Echo. I was told that they were looking for an individual who had on a hoodie and was bald-headed. And when I looked around, there were at least 10 other people who had hoodies and was bald-headed. But they had zeroed in on me, and because I said, he asked me for my identification, and I know I don't have to provide you my identification, and I said that I'm not doing anything illegal. You see that I'm here with my friends. We're at the pizza shop. Why would you approach me in this aggressive way? And then the sergeant clicked open his gun holder and began holding his gun. And I said, are you really serious? You are ready to do something drastic because I won't give you my identification? Where is your commanding officer, your supervising officer? Once again, the situation ended with the supervising officer showing up, remanding or disciplining his officers, again, about the way in which they are treating individuals in a space. My reason for putting that on the table is to say, there's an echo, it's really strong.
Yeah,
when you encounter law enforcement in America. There is a history of law enforcement in America aggressively dealing with the population. And when you know that, you, because of your own safety, your own desire to make it home to your family, are supposed to understand how to handle a possible conflictual situation with law enforcement. And so again, for this woman to be shot in her car is an atrocity and a tragedy. It also has to be said that not everyone understands how to deal with law enforcement in a proper way to diffuse them in a potentially dangerous situation in which they could, had they did, assassinate this woman. So I also saw a video this morning on CNN where I was watching Jay Tapper interview the DHS Secretary, Christy Nolan, in which she showed her a video of Mrs. Good, her wife, Becca, Renee's wife, Becca, outside of the car, taping the police, telling them, you are, I'm not verbatim, but she was basically saying, I'm recording you, and I am an American citizen, and you can't treat me like this. That, to me, is someone who isn't defusing, but escalating the circumstance.
Okay, well, see,
You know that these people are aggressively in your city, actively engaging in aggressive actions against folks. You have to have the ability to diffuse, as Sister Rashida said. I'm a coward. If I can't handle it a certain way, I'm backing off. I'm not going to give you the ability or the opportunity, right? Possibly put me into a coffin, because I know through the history of this country and its law enforcement that they can and will use their weapons to kill, and they will be supported in that action by those who have given them the authority to use lethal force in any situation.
No, that's not true.
Dangerous.
That is not true. That is, see, that's where it gets, wait a minute, that's where it, wait a minute, but that's where it gets messed up.
Just read the law.
I did read the law, but the law, and I'm saying this to you. The possibility is there, but the law emphasizes that civilian authority must remain intact when it is still where it is still functional. Martial law, where the military temporarily takes over government functions, is permitted only in cases of actual necessity, where civilian governments cannot effectively maintain order. The constitutional rights, troops deployed under the Insurrection Act or any other authority must still respect the Constitution and all applicable state and federal laws, including the First Amendment rights to free speech and assembly. So
you are discussing, you're discussing the idea of the law and the Constitution. What we are seeing today is an blatant disregard for laws and the Constitution. And so as we've seen this occur,
that's being done by the federal government.
Hundreds of, I hear you. I'm saying that it's happening, and now practically as an individual American citizen here who has seen it occur, and particularly as Black Americans who have been under that level of authority and in conflict with those in state, city, and federal governments multiple times over hundreds of years. We know what these people are capable of. They are already doing it. They have been supported, and it is happening all over the country. We have all the social
But is it right? Is it right?
It's not right. But it is clear that though it is not right, it is happening, and we must protect ourselves from the fact that these people are doing this with a blatant disregard for what has been written as law and has been constitutionally established for hundreds of years.
That's right. And also, you know, they are wrong. And that's what the video shows. That's what the protest is all about. All those people that are protesting, that's what they're saying. That the government using these military force, these people come in with guns. They come in with rifles. They come in with pepper spray. They come in with smoke bombs. They come in with all this equipment, and they're using all this equipment against civilians, citizens of the United States. And they're being aggressive with that equipment to be to antagonize the people. And that's why that woman got shot, and that's why you have this protest, and that's why it's wrong. But that's exactly what that this current administration wants, so that they can continue with this posse comitatus act and say that the country is under a siege, and that is an insurrection. The country is under insurrection, and so we must continue to do this. That's what they're doing. They continue to try to justify their way.
Before we go into the movement, which we discussed solution to these issues, is there anyone else who would like to share experience or also commentary around what it is we have discussed today?
Experience. When the message gets lost, many protesters are unifying intention that unraveling. One action becomes the headline, suddenly conversation changes, pain gets ignored, and the people protesting carry both the original injustice and the backlash that's followed. The message didn't change. The spotlight did.
Can you read that a little slower so that everybody can hear exactly what what you're saying in that piece? We identified the conversation, but let's read the element so that we can also move forward. Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure what to do as far as the echo is concerned. I've done everything that I can. When the message gets lost, the experience is when the message gets lost and many protests start, unified and intentional, then unravel into a single moment. One action becomes the headline, which happened with the shooting of the sister, and suddenly the conversation changes. Pain gets ignored, and the people protesting carry both the original injustice and the backlash that follows. The message didn't change. The spotlight did. And that's what happened with this.
I wanted to make sure that we were clear that, and this is why I asked the question. If ICE, the
Immigration and Customs,
the organization that comes in, right, and they're there to look for people who are illegal immigrants in a particular state. Those people who are being targeted by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency those people are the people we would expect to have a level of intensity, right, around being rounded up and assaulted and grabbed out of their homes and thrown into vehicles and taken off, without any due process, or hidden from your families, not being able to communicate with them, uncertain about their whereabouts. That those people would be as inflamed and be at the forefront of the conversation. But that is not what is happening in this conversation. The spotlight has now changed. It's no longer about the actions of the ICE agents against those folks who they are grabbing up. It is now changed to spotlight what's happened to a protester who, whatever the intention, was in a place where they were subject to this level of behavior. And we have to remember, as Top has been saying, and as we all should think about, if this is an atrocity occurring against Venezuelans and Ecuadorians, Mexicans, the people from Colombia, folks that are coming from Haiti or the Dominican Republic, Somalians, Nigerians, Canadians, folks from the UK. This is happening to folks, all of these folks simultaneously. This is just one incident, and now that incident has taken precedent.
Well, that's not, that,
Kavel, to this next stage and come up with solutions to help our people, not only those who are dealing with the imminent effect of immigration customs enforcement coming to find them and create upheaval in their communities, but also those who are out there trying and attempting to support the right side of the treatment of American citizens, but not just citizens, but human beings in this country, which seems to be thrown to the wayside when this administration decides that it wants to address an issue. So the movement, the turning point protest into power, sustainable movements don't just express anger, they organize discipline, leadership, and clear demands to protect the mission. The goal isn't to mute emotion, but to make sure it serves impact and not distraction. What are some of the things that we could do to prevent this type of situation from occurring again to anyone who is involved on the side of the right position in regards to the situation that is occurring in our country?
See, you asked the question what we can do. I think the question should be more to the leadership that is in charge of immigrations and custom enforcement, because they are justifying this situation. They are justifying the action. They are justifying the action.
But that again is clearly, they have clearly decided to do that. So we understanding that, what can we do?
All right.
So protect ourselves against what we know is completely being supported, pushed, and continued around this particular issue.
You still have to speak out against it, because it's against your constitutional rights. We have a history of being able to. We have the right to protest in America. We have the right to protest, and they don't have the right to throw smoke bombs, pepper spray, and carry AK-47 weapons, guns. Is all that necessary? But when we see that as American citizens, we know that those things, and it's being used aggressively. They're not asserting, they aggressively using that power, against the protests. A peaceful protest too. People that are walking around with signs. So we have to still protest. We have to still speak out about it. We still have to do that.
We have to demand that, and I would say that there is a responsibility for the individuals who we have elected, whether that be at the local level, the state level, or the federal level, to support us and to support the right-minded thinking of the citizenry in a different way, because that, I think, is something that I would want to do, is hold them accountable and also ask them to be a shield as well as a spear in this work that needs to be done to make sure that the citizenry are going to be able to protest out against in the right-mindedness of the protest.
Well, you know, and again, we see what the situation is. It's not like we're blind. You know, the President of the United States, man, has decided to send troops into Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Portland, Oregon, Chicago, Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, you know, these are all Democratic states or Democratic cities. But he's not sending them to other ones. So you know, the idea.
They send them to New Orleans.
To New Orleans, you know, they're sending them. They're not sending them to other places where we, you know, these crimes are supposed to be are coming in. They're not sending them there. And so so what it does is it lets you see. You know, you could say the president can say whatever he wants to say, or Christine Nome or any of them can say ICE can say whatever they want to say. But when you see what the effect is of what they're sending in, and how the particular places where they want to deny the constitutional rights of people, you know, this is where, you know, this is where it comes the responsibility to speak out and to protest.
When the Democratic mayor of Minnesota, Mayor Jacob Frey, is responsible for the citizenry of Minnesota, how is it that those folk who have to and want to stand on the side of right and protest hold him accountable or utilize his power as a Democratic mayor and representative to secure their own safety?
You can't. Well, I mean, the federal government has taken over. You know, the federal government has taken over.
He was elected by the citizenry to deal with their concerns, and yet he hasn't been able to. Or how about the governor, Tim Walz, who is also a elected official in Minnesota? How is it that he is responsible for helping protect folks in his state against folks who are in the wrong mind, and as folks protest in the right mind? How is he responsible, and how do we utilize his power as well as Mayor Frey in order to keep themselves or keep them safe in their state of Minnesota? Similarly here, when we talk about being in New York City and we have Governor Hochul or Mayor Mamdani, how are these people being held accountable for making sure that as the administration pushes forward with the wrong mindset, that we as the folks who have the right mindset are able to support the other human beings that exist in our environment?
Well, again, you're talking a mayor who has a police force, and you know, is he supposed to? He can't use his police force against the federal authorities. All right. However, Philadelphia Mayor Sheriff Rachel Bilal sent a blunt message to Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents Thursday, vowing to prosecute any federal officer who commits crimes in the city. If any of them come to our city and commit a crime, you will not be able to hide. Nobody will whisk you off. You don't want this smoke because we will bring it to you. So this is the first time that I've heard of a city law enforcement person say that the federal government cannot come into their city, commit a crime like was done in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and by killing that woman, and then they whisked him off someplace so that he could not be found and prosecuted to that degree. And the federal government, in that case, they are not cooperating with the investigation that's going on in Minnesota. They're not cooperating with the Minnesota sheriffs or the Minnesota city government. They're not cooperating with them in order to get the person. But this person that's in Philadelphia said if you come in here and do it, you know, you're gonna get the smoke.
There was again a conversation with the mayor, Mayor Frey, and his police commissioner this morning, in which he reiterated that the federal law agency, Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, is not cooperating or hasn't sought to cooperate with the state and local authorities in pursuing their efforts to remove illegal immigrants. And Christy Nome, in her earlier statements before Mayor Frey came on as his commissioner, said that she did not need to, and the federal government and Donald Trump didn't need to collaborate with those entities because, again, they have a sanctuary city in which they have been talking about certain things and certain rhetoric has been said specifically by Mayor Frey that she asserted has been antagonizing and inciting folks to act a certain way with the federal law enforcement's duty to remove illegal immigrants from Minnesota. And so, again, they're sticking to their guns, and one of the things that they're using against the Minnesota power structure, against the Minnesota state and local authorities, is saying, you're a sanctuary city, you do not support the efforts of Donald Trump, who has received a mandate in his election to make America safe and to remove illegal immigrants from their cities who are rapists, murderers, child offenders, and the like. And so they don't need to actually engage in a cooperative effort and operation because these folks, they don't believe are actually going to work with them. They believe through the rhetoric and the other things that have gone on that they have the right to step in because the American people who voted for Donald Trump understood what he was going to do and are supportive of what he has been doing.
Well,
I want to say,
well, let me just say this to you.
one more thing.
Okay. All right, go ahead,
One more
sir.
thing.
Yes,
One more
sir.
thing.
Go ahead, Kareem.
Let's see if anybody else has anything to say because we're at 1:56 and we'll give a couple of minutes before Pop and I kind of close out the conversation.
Yeah,
if anyone has anything else.
Yeah, especially about how ICE is operating in your area. How's ICE operating in Louisiana?
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Sister Martha.
Yes, I just want to give the greetings. My background may be a little in may not be the best. So I just want to say
You're
thank
clear.
Allah for your projecting the information and allowing us to think. And that's what we want to project onto YouTube as everyone to think. Please, critical thinking, but at the same time, think before acting.
Yes, very good.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
If anyone else has any comments, please, at this time. All right, I will let Pop have a say, and then I'll actually give my last word on it before
I just wanted
we close out.
I just wanted to say that I don't want you to think that the Philadelphia sheriff is doing this on her own volition. No. It says Philadelphia police officers will enforce District Attorney Larry Krasner's directive to detain ICE agents who invoke illegal actions or endanger the public. That's what she said, that she's following the directive of the District Attorney of the city of Philadelphia. The criminal, I'm not going to go that far, but that's what she says that she's doing. That any ICE agent who provokes illegal actions or endangers the public, they will, the police will move against them.
This is my final statement, and I thank everyone for being here and going through the quick and digital experience with us. We love having these conversations, and of course, we end off here with the conversation, the experience, and the movement, because we love to have dialogue that leads to solutions. For me, once again, this is my opinion as a commentary at the end. We have to be diligent in our own safety. My father often talks to me about the simplicity of knowledge. There are many things that are on the books and many different rules and regulations around how it is that we stand up to our own government in the face of things that we believe are not in the benefit of the citizenry. But as Sister Martha said, we have to think, critically think about what it is that we can do to make sure that we make it home safe and sound to our families. Although these causes are important, the main cause, the simplest thing is to make it home, to see your family, and to make sure that they know that you love them, they love you, and that you will see another day with them. With that being said, I want to say this has been the Quickest Digital Experience, where we bring voice to the voiceless. Also, if you have any suggestions for future show topics, email us at anew.day@live.com to join the experience. We look forward to sharing another Sunday with you next week. Thank you to the Culture Insights, A New Day Community Radio, and American Muslim 360. Until next week, assalamu alaikum.
Sister Martha, your last words? Sister Martha, I want to give you your last names if you have any. Okay, then this is how we're going to go out with Bill Blast. We're going to go out with Bill Blast. I was made for this life. Listen up.
All right, dear listeners, plan to join us at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for Contemplations of Imam Warthin Muhammad, Rahimahullah, mercy of Almighty God be upon him. We thank you for being here with us. And of course, this was Cultural Insights with the executive producer of A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio and American Muslim 360. We invite you to subscribe to American Muslim 360 Daily Broadcast on YouTube and connect with us on Instagram and Facebook. And do remember to go to cwsc.us and click on new donate button. All right. And this is my nephew, cousin, as he's 5 years young. All right, everyone. God's peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum. Hi. Yes. Okay. Here you are. Bye. Okay. And then